You know what time it is. It's chunky time. Today, we are making a basket, aka pet bed, aka planter pants, aka anything is possible. Yep, she's chunky, she's cute, and she's versatile AF. You'll need at least 40 meters of chunky thread to get started. If you've got a real big dog, you might want at least 80 meters. First, unravel and tie together your two 20-meter chunky thread balls. Then find an end point in your spaghetti of chunky thread. This end point will be your tail, and the rest of your chunky, all the spaghetti, we call running yarn. Got it? Make sure you have about 1.5 meters of extra tail, then flip your tail on top of itself so you've got a little loop. Reach your hand through that loop to grab the running yarn and pull it to create a new loop. And that's a slipknot, baby! Pull on the tail and running yarn to adjust. Place it on your right wrist. It should be nice and snug like a bug in a rug. Flip your tail on top of itself again, reach your hand through that twisted tail loop, grab the running yarn to pull it through to create another loop. Place that loop on your right wrist as well. Don't forget to pull on the tail to keep things snug. You now have 2 loops on your right arm, right? You're gonna keep repeating, twisting the tail, pulling the running yarn through until you have 8 loops on your right arm. Twist, pull through, place on wrist. You've officially become a pair of knitting needles. Cute. Remember, you're twisting the tail, pulling through the running yarn. Keep them separate, okay? Don't be mixing up your tail with your running yarn. This trick you're doing, making it look like you're wearing the world's softest arm cast, this is called casting on. Stop when you have 8 loops along your arm. It should look something like this. Loops all up your arm, these little hills on one side, and these little lines on the other. Okay, we'll use the tail later, but we're done with it for now, so hands off. Your running yarn is the star of the show now. With your right hand, reach down and grab your running yarn. Hold it in that right hand, running yarn over your thumb, like this. Then pull the closest loop from your right wrist over the running yarn you're holding, off your arm, and set it free. A new loop is born. Now place this new loop on your left wrist, but make sure the loop is twisted when you do that, okay? Listen up. If the chunky thread on your loop crosses over itself and looks like this, it's twisted. If your loop looks like this, it's not twisted. Ew. So twist it towards your left wrist and place it on. You're gonna repeat this new step with all the loops on your right arm. So grab the running yarn, place it over your right thumb, pull the next loop over, then let go of it, twist, and place your new loop on your left wrist. Don't forget to pull the running yarn to tighten and keep things snug. Nobody likes a sloppy loose chunky thread, okay? This is a basket, not last night's Chinese. Loop doggy dog, it's getting gravy, baby. When your right arm is all freed up and you have 8 loops on your left arm, you'll have made your first row. Now you're going to do the same thing but with opposite hands. So with your left hand, reach down and grab your running yarn, placing the running yarn over your thumb. Pull your last loop from your left wrist over the running yarn into your hand and release. Then twist that new loop and place it on your right wrist. Keep this up until all the loops on your left arm have disappeared and you have 8 fresh little loops on your right arm. As Riri once said, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but chains and loops excite me." She said that, right? Now get yourself familiar with these steps because you're gonna keep repeating them, alternating between your left and right arms, creating new rows. As you create these new rows and move loops from right to left and left to right, you'll want to check in and make sure your threads are consistent on either side. Let me show you. On this side of my red, the threads are vertical, and on the other, they're all horizontal. See? So check your chunty before you wreck your chunty. Keep going until you have about 6 feet or 2 meters of running yarn left. This is chunky magic right here, baby. Got 6 feet of yarn left? Time to cast off. Start by knitting 2 stitches as you normally would onto your nape arm. So grab the running yarn, place it over your thumb, pull the first loop over and off of your wrist, then twist and place your new loop on your other wrist. When you've got those 2 new loops ready to go, pull the first loop over your second, off your wrist, and let go. Grab your running yarn again as you normally would, pulling the next loop over and off your wrist, then placing the new loop onto your other wrist. Again, pull the first loop over the second and let it go. Keep repeating and watch your loops disappear. When you reach the end of the row, you'll release your hand from the loop and pull the running yarn all the way through. Pull the running yarn all the way through. Whoa, you just made a rectangle mat. You can leave this sector as is, secure and hide or cut off any excess chanti thread, or stay with me and finish off your basket. Have the vertical chanti thread pattern face up and your rug longways. Fold the two sides to meet in the middle and grab your chanti thread tail. Now, join these two sides together by lacing the tail in between your outer chanti here and here. When you reach the end, pull the tail through and tie a knot. Reach through this tube of chanti and turn her inside out so you can lace together the base of your badass basket. Find the side of your chanti tube with the longest tail. Stand your chanti up and weave this tail through every other chanti stitch. Pull the tail tight to cinch the base closed and tie a knot to secure. As for your extra tail flopping about, you can tuck and hide your extra chanti throughout your creation or cut her off just like you did your ets. You can stand the basket up as is and leave it tall, or for an extra chanti basket, fold the chanti over onto itself from the top to the base. Voila! She's thick and she's ready. Use her as a basket, pet bed, turn her back into a mat, throw her in the washing machine, and even undo and start again whenever you want. Hope you enjoyed taking the yawn out of yarn.